Welcome back to another exciting recap of Jujutsu Kaisen. Get ready to dive back into the world of curses, sorcerers, and epic battles as we revisit the latest episodes of this action-packed anime. Join us as we unravel the mysteries, encounter new foes, and witness our favorite characters facing thrilling challenges. Let's jump right in and explore the captivating adventures that await us in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Shuguru Geto walks through dark alleyways hunting for cursed spirits during a busy summer, when they frequently appear. Down one alley, he spots a cursed spirit feeding on a deceased man. With swift precision, Shuguru employs his cursed spirit manipulation to absorb it. As he completes the process, he feels the weight of understanding how taxing it is to taste the filth of curses. Since that day, Shuguru has been repeating morally focused statements to himself on repeat to try and keep himself composed. It all begins in 2006. Grade 1 Sorcerer Mai and Grade 2 Sorcerer Yuhime Iora receive a mission to investigate a cursed mansion in Hamamatsu City, known for paranormal activity and missing victims. An assistant manager drives them to the location, where Yutahime prepares to cast a curtain. However, Mai intervenes, stating they won't need it as they'll be exorcising the curse inside. Inside the mansion, litter and filth fill every room, unsettling Yutahime while Mai remains composed. They decide to split up to investigate each floor, but they soon reunite on the same floor. Mai realizes they're trapped in a looping barrier likely created by the cursed spirit to capture victims. Mai is confident they can exorcise the weak cursed spirit once they escape the barrier. To break free, Yutahime suggests running down the hallway at top speed, realizing it's a straight line rather than a circle.
Good one. Yep, that's a good one.
Mai approves of the plan, adding that they should run in opposite directions as well.
Okay.
Putting the plan into action, they begin to break the barrier, but the entire mansion starts to collapse around them. Yutahime escapes the rubble and finds Satoru Gojo, her junior, who has come to her rescue. The barrier distorts the girls' sense of time during their ordeal. After 2 days, second-year Tokyo Jujutsu High students Satoru Gojo, Subaru Geto, and Shoko Ieri are dispatched as reinforcements. Yutahime scolds Gojo for his recklessness, and a giant cursed spirit emerges to attack her. Geto intervenes, immobilizing the spirit with an even larger curse. He teases Yutahime, but she greets Shoko warmly, expressing relief at seeing her and advising her not to become like the boys. Shoko reassures Yutahime, asserting she would never stoop to the level of garbage, like Gojo and Geto. Mai calculates her pay for 2 days of labor from this assignment and then inquires about the curtain. Gojo, Geto, and Shoko are all puzzled, as none of them erected the barrier. As they neglect to open a curtain, their homeroom teacher, Masamiki Yaga at Jujutsu High, reprimands them. Following a disagreement between Gojo and Geto regarding the relationship between sorcerers and non-sorcerers, they receive a task from Master Tenjin. Every 500 years, Tenjin merges himself with a person called a star plasma vessel to counteract his immortality curse technique and prevent himself from evolving beyond human. Gojo and Geto are tasked with protecting the vessel, a girl named Riko Emine, who is targeted by 2 groups: the curse user sect Q and the religious group Time Vessel Association. On their way to Riko's location, they are attacked by members of Q, but Geto saves Riko from harm. Meanwhile, lacking the strength to fight, the Time Vessel Association hires Toji Zenin, now using his wife's maiden name, Fushiguro, to eliminate Riko. Gojo and Geto effortlessly defeat the Q attackers. Once Riko regains consciousness, she and her maid Misato Kuroi are formally introduced to them. Although the plan is to take Riko to Jujutsu High for safety, she insists on attending school for the day. Tenjin orders Gojo and Geto to respect her wishes, understanding that despite her acceptance of her fate, assimilating with Tenjin means she'll no longer have a normal life. Meanwhile, aware of his current inability to confront Gojo directly, Toji decides to bide his time and let other attackers weaken them first. He exacerbates the situation by placing a 30 million yen bounty on Riko's head. While Geto and Kuroa confront curse users at the school, Gojo seizes Riko, but soon finds himself cornered by a curse user capable of creating clones. Geto urgently calls Gojo to warn him, but it's too late. Gojo and Riko find themselves surrounded by 4 clones of the same curse user. He makes a 5th clone, but Gojo slams it into another clone using Curse Technique Labs. Blue. 2 more clones rush him head-on but are stopped by the Infinity before being easily dispatched. Revealing the capabilities of his opponent's innate technique, Gojo explains that the curse user can generate up to 5 clones, including the main body, and can switch the main body at will. When asked how he knew this, Gojo simply credits his keen eyesight. He then elaborates on his own technique, explaining the mechanics of blue and its forward activation. The curse user attempts to flee, but Gojo uses blue to draw them both to a single point. His attempt to use curse technique reversal. Red fails due to his incomplete mastery of reverse curse technique. Gojo humorously admits his failure before simply defeating the curse user with a punch. Throughout the ordeal, Riko remains by Gojo's side, levitated by his power. She receives a message on her cell phone and is shocked to learn that Misato has been kidnapped. Upon discovering Kuroi's abduction by the Time Vessel Association, Gojo, Geto, and Riko swiftly infiltrate their base in Okinawa to rescue her. Following the successful rescue, they opt to spend the time waiting out the bounty's deadline by enjoying themselves on the island. Gojo extends their stay to accommodate Riko's wishes, despite Geto's concerns about Gojo's prolonged use of the 6 eyes for 2 consecutive days. As the deadline expires, the group arrives at Tokyo Jujutsu High to prepare for the assimilation process. However, they are suddenly ambushed by Toji, catching Gojo off guard. Gojo opts to stay behind and confront Toji in battle while Geto escorts Riko and Kuroi to Tenjin's location. During their intense confrontation, Gojo realizes that Toji possesses no curse energy, a trait uncommon among ordinary humans. Instead, Toji was born with a heavenly restriction, granting him extraordinary physical abilities. Utilizing a horde of cursed spirits accompanying him and a special grade curse tool designed to neutralize active curse techniques, Toji gains the upper hand, overpowering Gojo and delivering fatal slashes to his throat and chest, seemingly ending his life. Meanwhile, Riko bids tearful farewells to Kuroi as Geto escorts her to Tenjin's underground lair. Along the way, Geto offers Riko the choice to reject assimilation as he and Gojo have already decided to defy Tenjin if she desires. Riko confesses her desire to lead a normal life, but before she can reach out to Geto, Toji unexpectedly shoots her fatally in the head. Shocked, Geto unleashes his cursed spirits to engage in combat after Toji boasts about killing Gojo. Geto engages in a battle fueled by vengeance against Toji for Riko's death and the presumed loss of Gojo. Despite Geto's best efforts, Toji skillfully evades and neutralizes each attack. Toji also reveals the method behind concealing his own cursed spirit, enabling his infiltration into the lair. In a desperate move, Geto tries to absorb Toji's cursed spirit, but his attempt fails, leading to his defeat and leaving him on the brink of death. Toji then takes Riko's lifeless body to the Time Vessel Association, where their representative details the group's evolution over the years and their obsession with Tenjin. As Toji prepares to depart, he is suddenly confronted by Gojo, who managed to survive their earlier encounter by utilizing reverse curse technique to heal himself. In a state bordering on madness, Gojo experiences a euphoric high and effortlessly counters all of Toji's attacks, unleashing special applications of his limitless ability. Toji's left side of the body is obliterated, and he reveals to Gojo the grim fate awaiting his son, Megumi, who will be sold to the Zenin clan in the coming years. Meanwhile, Geto, having been healed by Shoko, rushes to the church and finds Gojo carrying Riko's lifeless body. He questions whether they should eliminate all the non-sorcerer cultists present, but Geto ultimately decides against it. However, the notion continues to linger in his mind. 1 year later, Gojo has honed his curse technique to a point where he's considered the strongest, leading him to take on more solo missions. As Gojo flourishes, Geto grapples with feelings of isolation and conflict. During a conversation with underclassman Yuhabara, Geto encounters special-grade sorcerer Yuki Tsukumo. She shares her ambition to eradicate cursed spirits, born from the curse energy emitted by non-sorcerers. Geto begins to entertain the idea that eliminating non-sorcerers could potentially achieve this goal, forcing the remaining population to adapt.
Okay.
After Haibara's tragic death during a mission, and the discovery of 2 young sorcerer girls suffering abuse in a village, Geto reaches a fateful decision. He ruthlessly slaughters everyone in the village, a horrifying act that leads to his branding as a curse user and a death sentence. This revelation shocks Gojo, who confronts Geto about his actions. Geto admits to his plan, confessing to also having murdered his own parents and using Gojo's formidable power as inspiration for his goals. Although Gojo attempts to intervene, he ultimately cannot bring himself to stop Geto and lets him escape. Geto seizes control of the Star religious group, becoming its new leader. Meanwhile, Gojo encounters Megumi and decides to protect him from the Zenin clan. In the present, Gojo awakens from this haunting dream, greeted by Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara. Aoi Tomino and Magmai propose to the Jujutsu higher-ups that Yuji Itadori, Megumi Fushiguro, Nobara Kujisaki, Maki Zenin, and Panda be promoted to first-grade Jujutsu Sorcerer. This advancement means they will undertake various missions to earn this prestigious title. Tomino expresses disappointment that he won't have the chance to team up with Yuji for these missions. During a shopping excursion, Nobara encounters Yuko Aozawa, an old classmate of Yuji's who harbors feelings for him. Yuko invites Megumi to join her in discussing Yuji, eventually convincing Nobara to ask him out. After Yuji effortlessly recognizes her despite her changed appearance, Yuko decides against confessing her feelings and opts to focus on her own emotions and perspective. Shortly afterward, the trio rendezvous with Yutaheim to discuss the traitor within Jujutsu High, whom she has narrowed down to Mechamaru. They head to confront the location where Kakashi Muta's real body is suspected to be, only to find it deserted, confirming Yutaheim's theory. Meanwhile, Muta faces a confrontation with Geto and Mahito, confessing that he made a vow to collaborate with them so Mahito could utilize his idol transfiguration to repair his body. However, due to his betrayal by attacking the Kyoto students, Geto cancels their agreement, prompting Mahito to resort to his curse technique to heal Muta's body. The two adversaries immediately engage in combat, with Muta unveiling a colossal ultimate Mechamaru. His intent is to use it to exorcise Mahito before issuing a warning to Gojo about the curse's ominous plans for Shibuya on Halloween. Muta taps into his reservoir of 16 years' worth of accumulated cursed energy to confront Mahito with his ultimate Mechamaru. Despite Mahito's evasion and regeneration abilities afforded by his transfiguration, Muta manages to unleash a devastating missile of cursed energy directly striking Mahito, causing significant damage to his soul. In retaliation, Mahito triggers his domain expansion, ensnaring Muta and the Mechamaru within its confines. However, before Mahito can unleash his attack, Muta counters with another missile of cursed energy. This attack reveals itself to be a simple domain, capable of obliterating the domain and seemingly eliminating Mahito himself. Muta, determined to retaliate against Geto with his remaining energy, finds himself caught off guard when Mahito unexpectedly survives the attack. Seizing the opportunity, Mahito swiftly eliminates Muta. Meanwhile, Meiwa engages in a conversation with Mechamaru, expressing her desire to deepen her relationships with everyone. Several days later, on Halloween in Shibuya, a mysterious veil descends over the city, ensnaring all civilians within its confines. Some are abruptly drawn into the train station, while the remainder are instructed to demand the release of Satoru Gojo for their freedom. Multiple sorcerer teams are stationed at the veil's entrances, ready to intervene if necessary as Gojo ventures into its depths. Gojo strides into the subway teeming with civilians, where he comes face to face with the formidable curses Jogo, Hanami, and Choso. Meanwhile, Yuji joins Maimei and her brother Yui as they navigate the surface to address a newly discovered veil. They stumble upon transfigured humans, prompting Yuji to deduce Mahito's presence. Choosing to confront the powerful cursed spirit sensed nearby, Yuji leaves Maimei and Yui to handle the transfigured humans. Yuji encounters a semi-intelligent grasshopper cursed spirit guarding a tool controlling the veil. Despite the spirit's intelligence, Yuji overwhelms it with his raw strength, ultimately destroying the veil's control mechanism. Afterwards, Yuji reunites with Maimei and Yui below ground, only to find that Mahito and most of the civilians have vanished. Meanwhile, in the subway, Jogo heeds Geto's advice and uses the civilians to distract and overwhelm Gojo. Executing a domain amplification with Hanami, they deactivate Gojo's curse technique, forcing him to evade. Gojo removes his blindfold, signaling his readiness to escalate the battle. As Jogo recalls Geto's instruction to stall Gojo for 20 minutes, he begins preparing the prison realm. Jogo and Hanami fight Gojo up close, while Choso attacks from the rear. Gojo successfully overwhelms Hanami by completely crushing them into a corner with his limitless, killing them. Stunned, Jogo tries to run away while still keeping Gojo busy. Mahito then arrives with a train carrying hundreds of transfigured humans that proceed to cause immense chaos in the subway among the civilians, unleashing even more he had in hiding. Pushed into a corner, Gojo releases his domain expansion, Infinite Void, but only for the span of 0.2 seconds, immobilizing every transfigured human and cursed spirit in the area while minimizing lasting psychological damage to the civilians. Gojo uses this opening and eliminates 1,000 transfigured humans, leaving him exhausted. He is then confronted by the prison realm, but before he can escape its range, Geto greets him, shocking him and causing all of his memories to come rushing back to him. Enough time passes in Gojo's mind for the prison realm to trap him completely. Before being sealed away, Gojo refuses to accept that the individual before him is truly Geto. Geto then reveals his true form by undoing the stitches on his head, unveiling a mysterious brain with a mouth. He discloses that he transplanted his own brain into Geto's body using his curse technique, allowing him to utilize Geto's curse manipulation for his nefarious schemes. Meanwhile, a Mechamaru-like earpiece suddenly attaches itself to Yuji, alerting him to Gojo's dire predicament. As he is about to get sealed, Gojo directs his final words towards the real Geto, causing Geto's hand to involuntarily clench around his own body. This unexpected reaction surprises and amuses the imposter Geto as the prison realm is sealed, imprisoning Gojo within. Elsewhere, Mechamaru divulges to Yuji and Mai the events that just unfolded, including his creation of a couple of puppets as failsafes in case he perished and Gojo was sealed away. Mai and Muyue opt to remain behind to confront several special-grade cursed spirits in the subway, while Yuji dashes to the surface to alert the other sorcerers of Gojo's plight. As the other sorcerer teams are dispatched deeper into the Veil, Kiyotaka Aijichi finds himself under attack by the curse user Haruta Shijimo. Yuji yells out from the top of the buildings to Kento Minami about Gojo's sealing, which is heard by the other teams. Meanwhile, the prison realm suddenly drops onto the ground due to Gojo's interference within, forcing them to have to wait until it stabilizes. Geto's group also discover Mechamaru's spying puppets. The curses then get into an argument over Yuji's fate, with Chosoda Mahito wanting to kill him, while Jogo wants to resurrect Sukuna. Mahito proposes they all race to see whoever can find him first. After they leave, the Hasaba sisters confront Geto about giving Geto his body back, but he dismisses them. Nanami, Megumi, and Ino reconvene with Yuji, as they proceed to split up to deal with the remaining veils within Shibuya. Yuji, Megumi, and Ino probe the barrier impeding sorcerers from entering, realizing its formidable strength suggests the veils are safeguarded somewhere conspicuous, in this case, the Shibuya Central Tower. They ascend the tower and confront the trio of curse users at its summit. In the ensuing confrontation, they manage to destroy one of the veil-controlling tools. Yuji and Megumi engage in battle against the user holding the remaining veils, while Ino faces off against the other two curse users. The curse users lament how the balance of the world changed when Gojo was born, as fear of his incredible strength prevented them from being able to do whatever they wanted. Ino uses his curse technique to fight the two curse users, a grandmother and her grandson. The grandson protects his grandmother as she completes his seance, transforming the grandson into Toji Zenin. With Toji's strength, the grandson is able to brutally defeat Ino. Meanwhile, Yuji and Megumi confront the other curse user, who appears capable of repelling all of their assaults. Employing his 10 Shadows technique, Megumi discerns that the curse user's curse technique is inverse, enabling him to reverse the potency of formidable attacks. To overcome this formidable ability, Yuji and Megumi employ a strategic approach, bombarding the curse user with a mixture of weak and powerful attacks. Through this method, they eventually outmaneuver and defeat their adversary. While reminiscing about his life before becoming a sorcerer, Nanami comes across Ejiki unconscious and bleeding out at Shibuya Station by exit 13. Infuriated by the sight of his dying friend, Nanami rushes to his aid. On the Fukutoshin Line platform between Meiji Jingume and Shibuya Station, Mai follows Meiji Ebina, who is missing his right leg as he attempts to flee. Nearby, Wuyu sits atop Ebina's defeated cursed spirit. Mei takes a moment to explain her innate technique and the rigorous training she underwent to become a Grade 1 sorcerer. Impressed, Yui applauds and encourages Ebina to do the same for his sister. As Mai prepares to deliver the final blow to Ebina, who pleads for forgiveness and vows to mend his ways, she asks Yui what a person's life value is proportional to. Yui confidently asserts that life's value is determined by how useful one is to Mai. Turning to Ebina with the same question, he remains silent, unable to answer. Mei concludes that the curse user's defeat stems from his inability to gauge a person's worth. She then declares that service potential is life itself for her, before swiftly dispatching Ebina with her axe. Meanwhile, Yuji and Megumi succeed in dismantling the veil and snaring the sorcerers in the city. However, the barriers confining Gojo and the civilians persist. Following their victory, they come across Ino, who is found unconscious after being dropped from the central tower. Megumi opts to accompany him to safety, while Yuji rushes off to rendezvous with Nanami. Meanwhile, despite the seance being intended to merely replicate the deceased's body, the soul of Toji manages to fully possess the grandson's body. Under the grandmother's orders to eliminate all sorcerers, Toji promptly executes her as well. Elsewhere, Nobara and Akari knit as separate from Maki and Naobito Zenin when they encounter Haruta. Nobara valiantly attempts to engage Haruta to enable Akari to flee. However, due to Haruta's technique, he effortlessly evades every attack, inflicting serious injuries on both Nobara and Akari. Before Haruta can harm Akari further, Nanami intervenes, effortlessly thwarting each of his assaults and decisively defeating him. He instructs Nobara and Akari to rest while he proceeds to assist the Zenins. Meanwhile, in the subway, Mei and Wuyu cross paths with Geto, who deploys his smallpox deity, Cursed Spirit, to impede their progress. Simultaneously, Yuji encounters Choso, who wastes no time initiating a confrontation to seek vengeance for his brothers. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed revisiting the thrilling moments and exciting developments in the series. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Jujutsu Kaisen content, and stay tuned for future recaps and updates. Until next time, keep embracing the supernatural, and may your Jujutsu skills continue to grow stronger.